for the big beat down.
Yeah, this is a 22-inch diameter line too, so if we can get it open, that should help that area a lot. Of course, the last time it rained, I was up there and it didn't flood near as bad there as it did down by Everett Street, so I was happy about that. So hopefully, we've done a little bit there already.
No bowling balls this time?
No bowling balls, but they did find it. They got about 8 or 10 bricks out of there
Okay.
and big wads of roots, so.
It just kind of shows us that if we pay attention to our restrictions on putting things out in the street, grass clippings, stuff like that, that's gonna pay off in the long run.
Also, it shows we can afford the right equipment. We can have a town that's drains
yes.
better and.
When you're as flat as we are, and there are no hills to wash things on further down, we need this type of
Definitely.
equipment desperately.
I'm excited to see Jackson and Tatum.
Do what?
I'm excited to see a big rain.
I don't want to see a big one. I'm not gonna guarantee it won't flood, but it shouldn't be as bad. It should get out of there quick. At least let us get that 22-inch line cleaned out first.
And if it looks real good, we're gonna put a sign out there that says storm.
Stormwater bank, they're gonna wait and see.
Well,
Somebody's spinning a sign.
it actually flooded less the last rain than, we had other places that usually flood less than Jackson that were flooded more than Jackson, so we were happy to see that.
We got a lot of work to
Farm
do.
community wants you to wait till about November or December.
I can do it.
The trash business
Farm
never
community.
wants.
Well, I hope by November, we've got that 22-inch line cleaned out, so that should help a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, industrial. Closed session.
Yeah, we need a closed session, really, I figured you'll do it in your mayor's report, but,
Should've brought a tent.
I'll leave it for your mayor's report, that you do it. Nothing really right now, except for the closed meeting.
Appreciate it.
That's three. That's three.
I'm hearing these feedback, they're really having a hard time hearing us, which is nothing new, but just
Yeah,
remember to
it's-
speak up.
That's because you're Facebook land, you're on my phone. But for whatever reason, it started working earlier and then it decided to quit, so. All right. We do have a little bit of a new category. I don't know if Scott, you're prepared? But, I know we've had, well, there's had 2 meetings with the Landlord Tenant Association, getting together, to give a little update on that with him, and, so it's more to that to come in the future. How about that? Will that cover it?
I've got it.
That'll cover it, okay. All right. I don't have anything down for unfinished business. Does anybody have unfinished? No? Okay. New business, approval of the city abstract, was in your packet? Motion. Got a motion?
Sorry.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Approval of the bank balances.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. Approval of the city statement of revenue and expenditures.
Motion.
Second.
Got motions and seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mayor's report. Like I said earlier, we did have our second meeting for the certificate of need, or not, well, sorry, of the Landlords Association, so that is up and running. This past week was a pretty good week for Kennett. We'll start out with last week. Friday and Saturday, you couldn't get out of your house, had internet at your house, you could do the virtual Kennett Fall into Arts Festival. So you had something to do Friday and Saturday. If you got out, Friday night, you could see about 60+ cars do a cruise through town about 7 o'clock at night. Met up at the square, they had food vendors were up there, and a little concert, and I know Mary Beth Bird sang a little bit that night as well. Then you also had the Wilcoxons and all that group was up there playing, so a lot of nice cars to look at, and a good time was up there. Saturday, you had 119 cars out at the car show out at Jones Park. Mary Beth Bird again sang the national anthem out there and sang a little bit that afternoon. Had the band was out there playing again for a couple hours. Food vendors, it was good to be out and about and everyone having a good time. If cars weren't your thing, then we had the 3D Bash, RC Fly-In. out at the airport, or the RC airport. That was good to go out there. There's several videos online. They had the #1 ranked RC air pilot in the nation was out there. He was one of their sponsors. And watching what he could do with an RC plane was pretty spectacular and pretty nice to watch. They told me that they had, including the trailers that brought all the planes and everything in, they had nearly $1 million worth of equipment out there with the RC plane. Because it's a lot of those planes are in the $5,000 and $6,000 range, and so they had some that were in the couple $100 range, but there was a lot of them in that multi-$1,000 range. You also had right down the road from Jones Park, the Boot Hill Boogaloo's Motorcycle Club had a motorcycle show. Go out there, they were raising money for charity. Go by, put a couple dollars in your favorite motorcycle out there, and that was good with a auction to go along with it. So there was something to do, all weekend long. Get out, and people were, distancing, wearing masks if they wanted to. It was all up to them, but it was a good weekend, great weather and all. Then we come to Monday. Monday was a pretty good day for Kennett.
Yeah.
A few people flew, somebody drove, and I was supposed to fly out of St. Louis the next day, but my plans ended up getting changed because of COVID. Monday we had myself, Mr. Kerry Noble, Mr. Tom Piper, Carl Williams, Dr. Arshad, Stan Morse, and Marco Parr were all, and we also had Brian Mitchell. We're all I forgot Steve, there we go. Yeah, for something about him, no pilot down on here. Steve and George were also there. We had speakers at the Certificate of Need hearing of myself, Kerry, Tom Piper, Carl, Dr. Ashad, and Marco all spoke at the meeting. Mr. Carl did get the committee laughing pretty good, and it was very entertaining, and it was nice to see the vote was 7-0, all in favor of the Certificate of Need for the hospital taking its next step forward. So Main Street Health Ventures will start in their next step. So it's look for more information for that to come, and we'll let them make their announcements and all on what their timeline is and what their next step is. So as much of things have changed, much of things are staying the same. People are getting out and about. And it felt great this weekend. As time goes by, hopefully there'll be more things like this weekend. There was a lot that asked, hey, the RC flying is an annual event. They wanted the car show as an annual event. We know CAFTA is an annual event. It was just nice being able to get out and talk to everyone. So I hope everyone had a good weekend and a good time to get out and about and enjoy the weather. The weather is changing, a little cooler right now. And hopefully we can have a cold snap here and kill some of these mosquitoes, which in town is nowhere near as bad as it is outside town. So, but hey, yesterday was a good day for Kennett. This weekend was a good day for Kennett. So let's keep everything going in the right directions, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be for Kennett. So, all right. Public comment, really, we're going to turn this, I guess, over to mosquitoes.
Mayor, council, I'm ready for questions.
I swear, I'm being nice to you. I did have a question, somebody asked on here, does it have a report of what's killed? Would that be in the traps?
Yes, that's
Daily
our
traps.
surveillance.
The
Yes.
surveillance, okay, I just needed to post that.
Yeah, we run the surveillance, whether it be New Jersey light traps or CDC traps. Mostly we run New Jersey light traps and gravity traps. Now the gravity traps are trying to keep up with the disease problem, which is this time of the year with the Culex type mosquitoes. We try to stay on top of that because if we find those, then we'll be probably getting in touch with the mayor, council, because we're going to probably find a sewer situation or some kind of stagnant issue that we really got to try to clean up pretty quick. We can pretty well wipe those out and get them done and gone, unlike the anopheles that we have predominant, you know.
I think your aerial spraying seems to have helped more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, if we could, these hurricanes are a problem. They just seem to turn and
Mhm.
right here on us, right here at the end of it, so we're on the outer part of it. And it's, I believe that it brings them from wherever. You know, I know it can carry them 25, 30 miles and even further with winds, but these hurricanes are bringing them. You know, here we got another one, I don't know if it'll make it to us or not, but we're still working at it, and we'll continue to work at it.
Your mixture's still one,
Yeah, and also, I'm glad you brought that up, we also brought in, if you remember, in the past, I talked about that new chemical that we were doing trials and stuff with them a couple of years ago. Well, I got some of that on hand, and it's the bomb. It is, really. It's just very, very, very expensive, so we got some of that, and we're kinda using that. We got 3 drums there, we're kinda utilizing that.
You set that
It's
drum off in the
necessary.
Watson edition.
Oh, yeah?
good. No, I'm glad you're doing it. I think it does help.
Thank you.
I think people expect every mosquito to die.
Well, that's what happens, you know, you're not gonna kill every mosquito, the eggs lay dormant for many years, you know. I forget what, I need to check up on that, but at one time it was, started out at 9 years and it's gotten up to like 20 years. You know, they were testing, I think it was Texas A&M, if I ain't mistaken, where they would put a net over a ditch where no mosquitoes could fly in and lay eggs, and they were hatching out for that long, because they lay there dormant for years and years and years, and all of a sudden hatch.
I'll tell you what, there's a big difference between being in town and being out of town.
Absolutely.
The last few nights I've been out of town in the dark,
Yeah,
and they will literally carry you away.
right, I mean, we're reducing them, and it's a battle, and it's up and down. I mean, by the time you think you're about to get a hold on everything, and you're looking good, the track counts are going down, here we go again.
Someone
You
said,
know.
bring it to 8th Street.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we can't go to 0, but you just.
That's our environment to live in, farming area.
Yeah, it's,
Water drainage.
if you live on the ocean, if you live by the ocean, you're gonna get bit by sharks.
You know, and all the information that comes in from complaints and things like that is actually appreciated, and not something that we're just like freaking out over, because a lot of times they'll help us find problem areas and things like that, and we can, you know, address it. And, or whatever, which we know the predominant wind blows them in from, you know, the southwest areas. But,
Question. We have 3 retention ponds in town. Is that something y'all need to look at,
as long
or
as you keep the grass cut.
it doesn't matter if there's water standing?
If it's standing and getting stagnant around the edges, if it has pockets, that water is treated on a regular basis and has aerators in it, doesn't it?
No. It's just retention pond.
Well,
But
it's probably gonna be
I
around
look
that
at them quite
area.
often and they're not stagnant. It's just water. Not running water, but it's not stagnant water.
Y'all know some of them-
Cause most of them,
We
we
got-
don't get a rain, after a while will dry up.
Well, they'll sink in that. You have sludge at the bottom of those ponds. And they'll sink, but we can always put liquid larvicide in that too. I don't, you know,
I just didn't know if it's something y'all need to look at or we need to get with
we've
y'all
looked at that
on.
in the past, it's been a little while, but there's probably a 90% chance it is not, 95% chance it's not a problem.
Okay.
Unless you have some cave-ins or somewhere to where it can get back in there and pocket
Right.
and things like that. The tall grass around it, anywhere for that matter, your tall grass harbors adult mosquitoes
Okay.
terribly.
Been a lot of work done on these ponds lately though, so.
Yeah.
might be
Ruts
worth-
and stuff maybe around? I mean, is it something we need to?
I think it probably would be worth looking at.
Yeah, why don't you guys get together and.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you don't
Yeah.
care, we'll get
Yeah.
together, look at them,
Yeah.
and see what you think about it.
Absolutely. I've checked numerous
Take
of
it from
those
there.
things, from Blyville to you name it, and I have never pulled a larvae out of one.
Okay.
No, that's not to say that it can't happen, because it has happened, you know, as they have in other places, so.
Okay.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any more questions? All right, hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, Do we have anybody else that would like to speak?
We'll look at 'em. You get a chance.
I got his number.
Mayor City Council, Charlie Maddox, pastor, president of Minister Alliance. The last few months has been really hard on helping hand financially. We had to shut down the store, and that basically paid the salary of our director and all of our insurance and things. So we decided in our meeting yesterday that we'd ask them if they would be willing to open the store up. And so we're gonna open it Monday. What we're doing for the food boxes and for the senior commodity boxes giveaways, we're doing it outside. It's a drive-through now. We take it out to them. And so that's been protecting our volunteers because they're all in that age bracket that could be affected greatly by COVID. So we're taking, nobody's been sick. We've been blessed. And we've made it this far, but the last couple of months have been financially tough. And so we just want everybody to know in the city that we are opening it up Monday, but we're gonna limit it to 5 people inside. And please wear masks inside just for our volunteers, just to protect them, okay? And then one other thing that, I don't know what we can do about it, I think we're probably gonna have to get cameras, but everybody's getting these unemployment checks and stimulus checks and extra funds for, you know, that they're getting. And so they're buying new furniture, and so they're taking their old furniture that's all broken and dilapidated, and instead of disposing of it correctly, they're dumping it in front of Helping Hand over the weekend, in the middle of the night, or in the back. And we don't have any place to put it, and we have to pay tonnage for trash. We don't pay just for a certain pickup, whatever the weight is, we have to pay for, and of course, that's increased our fees. And so, we'd ask people to please not dump their furniture. The only time we accept donations is between 10 and 2, Monday through Friday, that's it. There's nobody else there any other hours. So, if you have something, we'll take it and make sure it gets into, what we do is, when there's a burnout, or somebody, you know, a domestic violence thing where a family's being taken out, we help with that. And so a lot of times, especially in the burnout, we've been able to give alternate beds and everything to families that need it. And so, and that's why we have those things. And we also do sell some of those things, but not very often. We mostly give it away. And so, but if you can please, if you know of anybody that's doing that, we're probably gonna have to put cameras up, and then we'll, if you don't mind, ask the police department to find the people or at least contact the people and say, you come pick it up. Because we can't afford to keep paying that big of a trash bill. So, thank you for your time. Appreciate all you guys do, and congratulations. I'm excited about the hospital. Hope it goes through quick because we need it here badly. There's a lot of people that are really in the hospital here. So, bless y'all.
Thank you.
So one of the points, and I'd really never thought about it, that Mr. Marco Parr brought up at the CON hearing, is that the city of Kennett is 100% landlocked. That you cannot go anywhere without going over a bridge. And if we were to ever have a earthquake, how are we gonna get anywhere? And you've got to cross a river. And I've never really thought of that. You got the Chain of 5 bridges, you got St. Francis, you got, you know, all these different places to go to, and you have to cross the river. So, that was a very good point. I thought that and never really thought of it that way. So, all right, anybody else from the public? Yep. All right, we need a motion to go into closed session.
Motion.
Go ahead.
All in favor?